Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sonia with Junk Monkey Paint Company, and today we're gonna play with some molds. Have you ever done that before? I just felt inspired to jazz up a book that I got at a yard sale, and just really wanted to turn it into a journal. I think it's the perfect book. I'll show it to you in a second. But if you've used molds before, these might look familiar to you because you can do them in different sorts of ways, but in all kinds of different designs. I'll show you some of the designs that I have collected, and probably, I don't know, in the last maybe 2 months, I was working on some other mold projects. Actually, I have a pair of candlesticks behind me that have some roses on them that I did. I'll show you up close in just a little second. But these were some more that I made at that time, like the butterfly, all different sizes butterflies. Who doesn't love butterflies? And I did a mermaid. This is some of her seascape that goes with her. Ooh, look at that. I do believe this is like some seaweed coming up from the bottom. And I need to redo a mermaid again, but I'll show you the ones that I have. I'm just gonna honestly just kind of wing it today, which is what I usually do when I'm creating, and I have no plan, but I just enjoy sitting down and yeah, just having a moment to, you know, let the creativity flow, and it feels really good. It's actually right now it's around lunchtime, and I need to go make some lunch. I'm in between having coffee and having lunch. And I thought before I go ahead and, you know, make something today, get into a sandwich or something like that, I am going to go ahead and play with my molds. So let me show you the book. You guys know that I recently held a yard sale. Well, I held a yard sale myself. It was very successful, very, very happy with that and how the day turned out. Plus it was sunshiny. We were supposed to get rain. We never got rain. It was a beautiful day. But I also did it with 2 other friends. And so, you know, you can't help but bring home a few things that your friend has in their stash, because, say it with me, one person's junk is another person's treasure. But I did bring home, I think I brought home 1 book to read, and then I brought home this book. I figure I could read as I go as well. But I purposely, when I held this book in my hands, I thought, oh my gosh, this would be the perfect mixed media journal. Call it like an altered book. People call them like junk journals. Basically like a scrapbook done with all mixed media, whatever you, the artist, the creator, wants to do with it. So you take an existing book and you alter it to be whatever you want it to be. This book here, it's like really nicely bound. Who had this one maybe in your library? It's a National Geographic, and it's Wild Animals of North America right there. And it's kind of got a bear on the front, and it's really nice and thick and heavy. And it's a little, you know, yellow and faded inside. I have no idea when this book was created, but it's old. And I am going to make it over. I do love the fact that it has pictures of, okay, it has skunks. Skunks are cute. Come on, skunks are cute. Oh, and it's got cactus in that picture. So I thought what I could do, there's a sea otter right there, an otter in the water. I think, no, it's a river otter. Okay, river otter. So I'm gonna learn as I go. Oh my gosh, not so cool on the snakes. We'll paint over the snakes, right? But I thought it would be fun to, you know, just use this book. It's nice and thick and heavy, and I can work in it daily, weekly. I love to do a little journaling when I wake up in the mornings when I'm having my coffee. It's become part of my routine, and I really, really like it. It helps me set my day off right. So I like the fact that this one is nature-based, because I think that's just really awesome. And I could use, like I use my Junk Monkey paint the way that other people probably use gesso. So if you're somebody who uses gesso when you do mixed media, just know that you can use any color you want of the Junk Monkey paint colors in our clay mineral hybrid style, you know, pre-mixed. So I just usually use like the vintage white or the antique lace. Typically I stay between those 2. And what I do is I just map out two pages right here, like the next page that I'm gonna work on. And I take my brush and I just kind of, like if I wanted to keep the bears there, I could. If I wanted to keep the bears in the water there, but maybe go ahead on this side here, completely cover it, I can. So I open up my 2 pages, and I usually use, I mean, you can use foil wrap. I just don't have any parchment paper or wax paper right now, but any of that works. The only thing is if you put paper underneath here, it can stick when you're doing this, so you don't really want to do that. But just take your foil wrap or your parchment paper or your wax paper, put it on both sides, and then all you have to do is basically paint your pages, like gessoing your pages. Hey, babe. And Matt was out talking to a neighbor. He's doing all kinds of outside work today. Speaking of nature, cutting trees and, you know, just away from the windows, doing all that sort of work around the house. So, so yeah, you could just paint that page. I usually do 2 coats with my brush, and I kind of do it just like, you can roll it on whatever you want, but I like that brush and look, and then I get some texture, and I also see like a little bit of the peekaboos, so it feels like my page kind of feels antique with letting a little of the print come through. I think that's really cool. So I'll do 2 coats of that and let it dry, and then when I'm ready to do a journal session, it's dry, and I take it a nice blue inky pen, and it'll mark right over it because the paint, you know, is porous and it is ultra flat, matte. You can just go ahead and go right over it. It's kind of like priming your page, right? And then you can stick stuff on top of it. You can make use, like some of these pages have things like awesome photos of like rainbows and nature, and I'm gonna leave those because I think that's really cool. Make use of that, and then you can add in pictures. You can, you know, do a daily gratitude, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're focusing on, whatever your goals are. But it is nice, and they do say, they being like, I'm pretty sure the people who, the goal setter people, experts, they say that if you write something down, it is more likely to basically happen, right? Because you're really being super thoughtful about it, and you're really streamlining your thoughts. So I just think whether you do it for gratitude, whether you just do it for an art journal, because you can sketch in here, and this can really be your safe place to play, that sort of thing. But so that's what goes on the inside of here. And then on the outside right here, this is where I feel like I really want to do some molds. So remember the butterflies and things like that? Well, I got those already done. Usually, so that I'll show you what I'm gonna work with, but usually it dries within 24 hours. And, you know, you can stick it on though before it completely dries when it's still moldable. That way, if you need to put it around something, so let it start to set up for a little bit. It might be like an hour or 2, and then go ahead and glue it on. My glue, when I do glue these pieces on, this is my all-time favorite, hands down. It is DAP Rapid Fuse. It says bonds virtually everything, sets in 30 seconds. This stuff, don't get it on your fingers, okay? You got to be very thoughtful about this when you use it, because you could end up with very, very sticky fingers going, how do I get it off? All right, so we got that in place. So these are the molds right here that I have, and they are, they're like, I guess a silicone rubber. They're like heat resistant, but I don't bake in them. But because they are heat resistant, and it gives more information on the pack itself when you do get the pack. We have tons of these on the website. I'm using these right now to jazz up my altered book, my mixed media book, but you can put these on furniture, you know, on decor, on candlesticks, on your lamp base, something that you want to give a more of a personalized, just ornate feel to, because I mean, something like that. Actually, I might put this on my book because you see how it has those beautiful, speaking of ornate and gorgeous. And we also have a ton right now of new ones that just came in that we're adding to the website. I'll put up a picture here real fast just to kind of show you the different designs, because you can pretty much get any designs that strike your fancy. Like, yeah. And when you're on my website at junkmonkeypaint.com, you'll see there's all kinds of like tissue papers, mixed media papers, furniture transfers. So you can actually mix your borders. So say, for example, you get some molds that, I don't know, like today I have one with moon and stars. And you guys know that I love, there is I forget what it's called. Is it solar? I can't remember. It's on our website. We did a project in it recently where it's just moon and stars paper, like solar system. So you can match up your molds to also match, like, you know, get peacock molds and then do a peacock furniture transfer. So you can really play it up, right? Do flowers and then pick a flower furniture transfer. Anyway, a lot of fun. So this is what they look like. So the ones that you just saw me take out, like these here, these were popped, like this one was popped out of this one right here. So this is where it sat, right in there. And then I take it out and I lay it flat and I let it dry. And like I said, you can get it stuck on before it completely dries, so that way it doesn't warp too much. I love working with the clay right here because it gives me just much more of an organic feel. The fact that these are heat resistant, so you can like use your glue gun. So, you know, you can just drip your glue in there until it's completely set up and then cooled, and then pop them out. The hot glue gun is not going to do anything because they're heat resistant. You can use resins if you want. Resins are really nice because they settle flat on the back. It's, you know, it's a liquid that sets up and hardens. So you get a nice flat back, which is really good if you're applying to a super flat surface like furniture. I love using this because you guys know I'm just a shabby, distressed, imperfectly perfect. Like, I appreciate characteristics, and clay, when it dries, it dimples and really gives you that really old kind of look, which I personally love. It's easy to use. Plus, you know, it's just really simple to use. So the moment I don't have to wait, for example, so the moment I put this in here, I don't have to wait for the resin to set up or anything. I can just put them in and pop them out, and then I just wait for them to set up and apply, right? So yeah, so that was the butterfly. This was like the fleur-de-lis one that you saw me. This is the roses, which I gotta grab those roses behind me and show you in just a second what they look like. I'll pop them up on the screen as well. These are the candle holders behind me that I was telling you guys about. So these were the roses. Do I have any roses left here? No, I think I stuck everything on that I have with roses. So you pop them out. I put a leaf and a rose. And this one I put 2 roses and a leaf on. They're different, but they're kind of the same. I love these so much. So these turned out awesome. This is an example. And then I used the beautiful waxes that we have on our website, the metallic waxes, to give this really cool look at the base. And I'm definitely going to be painting and adding some metallic waxes as well. So I can't wait to see where that goes. This is the beautiful, I think this one's called Sea Maven, and she's a beautiful mermaid, right? Love her, because we all love the mermaids. So I do like the idea of maybe putting on some borders around my book edge right there. So I am going to pop that one open today, and I'll show you the other ones that I've collected for myself. I've got cherry blossoms right here. Love that one. This one here we're going to use today because I need some stars and moons in my life. I think this would be beautiful. What do you guys think? I just love that one so much. Okay, this one right here, I love it. Okay, if you're, I don't know, if you're into VeggieTales, you know, if you're into magical little gnomes, all those things. Look at these happy vintage vegetables. Okay, they're called vintage roots, but I just think they're just so precious. And you can kind of see the stand there that somebody's using them on. So I don't know, maybe if you're making a little flower planting station for yourself, maybe you're doing a cabinet where you keep your canned goods. Maybe you're somebody that loves a lot of like flora, fauna around you. That would be a beautiful, like, organic roots. Oh, beautiful. Okay, speaking of like tropical and stuff, this one's called Leafy Blossoms. This one's really nice as well. So there you can see, you can put it on a picture frame down there. You can do that with it. So those are a few that I've added to my collection, but we're definitely gonna do this one right here, the Moon and Stars. Oh, so nice, look at that, look at that. Oh, love it, love it, love it. All right, and then I'm gonna do the borders because, like I said, I wanna prepare some borders. So the whole idea is today is to knock out getting my molds created before I have lunch and get my fingers into some stuff. But I can also let it dry. I have the roses, I have that. I'm gonna start on Moon and Stars. I have a bunch over there, got some butterflies. Probably should do the mermaid again. Oh, you know what? Maybe I will do the Leafy Blossoms. Let's do Leafy Blossoms. There you go. So you don't have to do all of them. You can just do one part. Like maybe you just need a rose for something, you know, or a small leaf. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So I just want to grab a surface to be able to create these on. And let's see, let's start with the Moon and Stars, just because I'm so excited about that one. You get two of these bottles of what looks like Play-Doh inside a pack. And gotta smell the Play-Doh. Doesn't really, well, kind of smells like white Play-Doh, right? It really has this really faint smell to it. All right, let's work it just like the Play-Doh. Who else loved playing with Play-Doh growing up? I will tell you that there is one thing that stands out, and I don't know if Mom still has it. My mother has hung on to a lot of stuff I'm so thankful for. When we go home, there's this hatch that you can get up from the dining room up into our attic, and she has all kinds of stuff out there. So sometimes she's up there, she'll snap pictures of something from back in the day that I had that she just boxed up and threw up there, and it's so fun to see stuff from your childhood. I don't know if she still has our Play-Doh barber set. Did you have that one? Do you know what I'm talking about? It was amazing. You do like spaghetti hair. You had the salon chair, and you used to like, you know, it would suction down to the table, and then you'd have these little cones. You'd stuff them with the clay. You put the little figure on it, and then you crank the chair, and of course, you know, all this would spurt out like hair, and they'd have faces, and then you'd have like the little barber tools. You'd give them bangs and hair. Okay, somebody out there's got to know what I'm talking about. All right, so I got this kind of going, warmed up. Best rule of thumb, so you don't have like more of an increased chance of breakage and things like that, is grab enough that's going to fill that section of the mold. Because versus doing like little balls of stuff and then putting it in there, you're better off just taking a nice clump and then putting it on somewhere. Oh my gosh, look at this little moon face right here. I'm gonna put it down right here on the moon face. Oh, this is way, well, I can tear some off of that. I was initially going for bigger. Let's tear some off of that. Push it down really, really good, because now we got one nice solid piece in there. And then take your, like your thumb finger, press down and wipe across at the same time. And that will all come off. Okay, there we go. So now I feel like I've got this nice little light filled in hole right there. I wiped with my thumb to get a nice flat back on it as much as possible. And it's right there and into it. You see that? So, and now all we have to do, you can wait a few minutes if you want to pop it out. There's no real rush. Just, you know, definitely it starts to harden, but it can take up to 24 hours to harden. So once you do it, just pop them out. Oh my gosh. You can like press around any little edging, light edging that kind of overfilled it. We're going to paint these as well, so stay tuned for the full finished thing. And then, so if you wanted to add something right now, you could take a little etching tool and, you know, I don't know, whatever you wanted to do. That is sweet. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? Love it. So now we got to let it lay flat. And like I said, after lunch, I'll come back and glue them on while they're still pliable. So that way, if you have something that has like a curved surface to it, you're able to do that. So let's do another one. So I swipe my table right before I, like, you know, with your hand, before you start to do a project, to get anything off, and just kind of scoot it across. And I saw something shiny, and as I was swiping, it swiped, and I realized, oh my gosh, I think I just swiped one of my gemstones that I was just out with Matt this weekend. And finding, we went mining gemstones. So maybe I'll include that video on here tomorrow. What do you guys think? Do you want to come with me mining gemstones? And I want to make a little necklace. So I'll show you my plans for taking my gemstones and turning them into a really cool locket. I picked up a chain and also a locket. So just kind of cleaning my gemstones. But anyway, I just like scooted one off into the floor. So yeah. So if you want to see that behind the scenes of how fun that is, has anybody been mining gemstones before? You'll have to let me know. I'm a new miner. I was there were some seasoned miners that gave me some great tips though. That was fun. Look at that beautiful star. Easy, right? So if we wanted to, we could just like work on the entire thing and then pop them all out. Do one at a time. Whatever floats your boat. There's something quite therapeutic about just doing this. You know what? Invite your kids. If you have kids and you're working on your own journal altered book, just be like, hey, come help me. I got a job for you to do. You get to smooth all this stuff into these molds, play with your fingers. quite relaxing. Feel like a kid again. But you know what? That's what makes your book extra special, because you have, you know, you built it, you made it, and it makes it feel like just a place that you love to be in with your thoughts. You know, pictures. Do you guys print pictures anymore? I feel like I should get one of those little things that you can have at home. I mean, there's one at Walmart. I'm assuming it's open right now, where you can like take your phone and it pairs with it and print off your pictures. But I wouldn't even mind getting like a one of those Polaroid cameras. I think I love the look of Polaroid. Boy, that's hard to say. Pictures, but also I love the feel of it. But I also love the instant fact that it's right here and you don't have to leave your house, and you can like do a picture of something and put into your altar book, your journal. There's our moon. La Lune, we love the moon. Oh, I'm gonna do a bigger face as well. I'm gonna probably do a bunch of stars in this. So pretty much for me, I mean, the molds are different sizes, but I feel like with the 2 of those jars that you get into your box, I pretty much can get like a tray done with one of those. I usually always do get a tray done with one of those. And then so that way I know that I'm getting like two molds, like 2 complete molds, for example. And sometimes you don't do all the molds, but if you wanted to kind of think about it like that, usually I get 2 trays done out of a kit of 2 of the clays. Pretty. There we go. Woo! Come back to me. Moon tried to get away. All right, I love those. So let me show you what a border will look like, because I really feel like we could make this book look so cool by giving it a nice border around the edge. And then maybe there's going to be a mermaid, some butterflies, moon and stars to kind of fill out the center right here. And then we get to paint it and to bring it to life. But today's you know, focus is just getting our molds and getting them made. And then I'll continue to film the progress so you guys can see the entire thing. You know what? I'm going to take my own advice here, what I always say to do. Pick out the, I kind of like this big wide one right here. It'll help me fill out the book. But I also love that just the biggest wide one that's here. So I'm just going to use that one. I mean, you could put 2 borders on, put one inside the other. All right, let me just make sure that's down and good and filling out the entire pocket. And then we do our run over with our fingers. Get the extra C. Did you guys have diaries growing up? Or journals? Were you big into that? Are you big into that now? What kind do you have? A gratitude one that you doodle in, put your thoughts down into, pictures, you know, wristbands, and just stuff from visits that you've had. You know, inside there you can glue them down. You can use candle wax to adhere. You can use all kinds of papers, you know, Mod Podge, and it can be just the pleasure in the process of putting it together. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, I love this. This doesn't have to be perfect either, but obviously you don't want too much of a rounded back on here, because if you're trying to stick it down, you know, you want it to be flat. Ooh. Say it with me. Ooh. All right, extra C off. You know, this is the fun part that we get to do. All right. The nice thing is too, this is bendable. So, you know, you can bend it out as well as you go. Oh, what is that little piece of probably paint or something on there? A little bit of dust. It's okay. It's going to be painted black anyhow. But look at that. So I'm going to work my way around with this one for sure. So I use the center one out of the Moulds. I forget what this one was called. This is called Elegant Borders. Elegant Borders. And boy, is she elegant. So then all I have to do is do enough. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so beautiful. I'll just do enough to go the entire way around. And like I said, I'll film as I stick everything on. So stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of this progress, especially if you just like to watch or hang out. Yeah, just do a little creative joy session together. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to keep popping a few more out. And I will see you guys back on here again tomorrow. So come back. And maybe you two want to start one of these with me. See you tomorrow. Bye.